redemption experience. And we have a panel of people who were able to be present for the 30-day redemption, some for April, some for June, some for both. And we wanted to hear from them as far as what has this experience been like, good, bad, or indifferent. And each person is going to take about 5 minutes and just talk about what the experience was like for them, so that we can get some insight into how to make the 30-day redemption experience better, or if it's something that is doing what it was intended to do in the first place. So we're going to get started. First, our disclaimer: the opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenter. They do not purport to reflect the opinions or views of the 30-day redemption or its members, officers, staff, partners, or advertisers. So, your redemption experience, flying out of this cage that we put ourselves in, mentally, spiritually, our physical bodies. And so we want to hear, as far as the journey that some are taking, what was your experience like, and what we can do for when we do the June reboot. What can we do to make it even better moving forward? So who's going to go first? All right. Hopefully everyone is present. Let's see if McGarvey is ready. McGarvey, are you here?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, McGarvey, it looks like your picture here looks like you are running the marathon of life. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your journey.
So if you want to, if
Go ahead.
okay,
Okay. Greetings all. I'm a Garvey. I live in Marietta, Georgia. Um, I'm a auto technician by trade. I am the owner of Elect Auto Repair. I was able to attend both the April and the June 30-day redemption, and I recall what it was. Kashab had presented the first day, and he was talking about how all these different entities have real estate in your mind, and how they don't even pay anything to inhabit there. In fact, we actually pay them Netflix, Hulu, any type of entertainment or whatever it was that was taking our time. And so, from that day on forward, I went out and I just started doing a lot of um, things that I knew I was neglecting, but I understood at that point that, man, I can't let all these other things distract me when I have all these things that need to be done. Um, also, just throughout the entire 30-day experience, I learned that people really don't have access to this type of information for whatever reason. This type of stuff is not readily available, and you just don't know what you don't know. So when you have, um, different things concerning health, or even, a big thing that I was learning was about visualization. And, I used to be one of those people who poo-pooed the idea of, like, speaking things and all this other different stuff. But that was because I had a lack of understanding. And so, being able to also understand value, um, that was a big thing as well. So all in all, my experience was, I realized even more what I didn't know, and how we should always be striving to get better every day. And also, the last thing I'll say is that um, there was a presentation I was given on commitments, and how that oftentimes we enter into these things or agreements, um, and they're not even really agreements. They're just kind of like, fly by night type of things. And so it's just been a great experience to hear all the different people, hear the different stories, and interact with great people. So I'm looking forward to the next reboot. Thank you for your time.
Awesome. And thank you for McGarvey for coming through, and also for the feedback. Now, and I'm going to ask everyone this: what do you think can be what do you think can be improved as far as 30-day redemption? Just from your observation, what can we do better?
I mean, that's kind of tough. I don't want to seem like everything is perfect, but I honestly couldn't like think of anything right now as far as like things that could be improved, because I think that this stuff in itself is not something that is just out there like that. So nothing that I can think of offhand. If I think of something, I'll let you know, but nothing right now, honestly.
Okay. Okay, cool. And if anyone does think that there's something that we could do better as you listen, whether now or later, just shoot an email to 30dayredemption@gmail.com, because we do want to make sure that the bottom line is that it's about other people. The brand is the brand, but the people, that's really the focus. So if there's something that we can do to make it better, let us know. All right, McGarvey, thank you for that. Hang out. And just in case anyone wants to cross examine you to see if you're really telling the truth or if we're paying you. All right, let's move on. Yane. Now, Yane, I've known Yane for many years. Um, I mean, I think I knew Yane since Yane was 17 or 18. And this is through, through affiliation with other people in her state. But Yane, are you available?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you've been around the 30-day redemption. I think you did some of April
Yeah.
and some of June. What was your experience like? What were your takeaways? Just tell us the overall picture.
I will say that I seen it evolve. The first 30-day redemption, I liked it. I enjoyed the dancing, the aerobics, the cooking, and then this 30-day redemption, I felt like it got a little more. It got a little more soulful, or I don't know. I enjoyed both of them a lot, but I definitely I like the interaction, the ones where we get to interact with the speaker. I liked, I forgot his name, but the one guy that talked about, I'll come back to that one, but I really enjoyed it. I like this 30-day redemption because we talked about families, we talked about traditions, we talked about numbers, we talked about so many things that just held my attention, and I was just really, I enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say.
What was a good takeaway for you as far as something that you heard that you implemented and actually is working in your life?
I liked going. I really really enjoyed on the last 30-day redemption. Can I talk about the last one as well?
Yeah, you could talk about it because it's the whole journey. So April, June, the whole journey.
So you had a speaker who talked about the vision boards.
Uh-huh.
I really enjoyed um her message, and I definitely started changing the way I did vision boards. And I would have to say I implemented. She told me to get rid of my bills. Like she was like, take your bills off the vision board, write them somewhere else. And I
Mm-hmm.
did that, and it's helped me a lot. It's helped me to focus on. It's helped me to focus on creating, the vision that I want without the distractions of, that negative, all the bills hanging over my head and stuff like that. So
Excellent. What can we do better?
have it longer.
You want to have a 90-day redemption, huh?
No, you know what? I wouldn't mind it being like an hour and a half,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I know you guys are doing workshops, so I'm really interested in the workshops. But I definitely like some of them. like I want I know when we start winding down to those last few minutes, but I like when we went over when on the ones that I joined and we kind of went to the 15-minute mark. Yeah, I was like real into it. So when they go long, I don't mind.
Yeah, and sometimes it be like, it's so good that we stretch it, but sometimes it's like, you know what, this is a workshop topic because it will never stop because it's so much good information. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Sometimes it goes over and you'd want it to keep going, and then sometimes I deliberately try to keep it right there at the hour or hour and 15, just so for whoever is chiming in for an hour, they're getting what they expect. But okay, good. That's good feedback. So we will keep that in mind, as we move forward for the next one. So thank you, Yane.
No problem.
All right. So up next, let's see who we have here. Alexandra, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I was
So
like, no, not me, not yet.
go to the next person. Okay. So tell us, what was your journey like, April, June, the overall picture? What's up?
Okay, well, I'm going to read what I wrote because I didn't want to leave anything out because it has been a very special time for me. So I didn't want to leave anything out. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and read. All right. So again, hello, everyone. It's
Hello.
been an awesome 30 days
Mhm.
and glad to share my experiences these last 30 days. I have two perspectives to share, one as a presenter and two as a participant. Oh gosh, I wrote in pencil. The picture on the
Mhm.
screen, as you see, was taken during the first 30-day redemption when I did a live acrylic pour. And I was super nervous about that because I only share my work with, friends, people that are close to me. Still kind of private, not, out there showing off my stuff. I guess a little bit of low confidence in that, I guess. But the experience, kicked me out of my comfort zone and inspired me to be more creative, and it inspired an actual sale. So that was a wonderful growing experience doing that in the first 30 day. And in the second 30-day session as a presenter, I shared another one of my passions, which is, emergency preparedness. Anything that has to do with helping families prepare for the inevitable hurricanes, natural disasters. And also, I did a presentation on the business resilience. And just, it's just a natural part of me, as an educator, being a service is a form of self-care to me, and it makes me feel really good and energized and happy. So those presentations, that was it was invigorating, and when you're invigorated, you're inspired to do so much more. So I loved having that opportunity. So that, pushed me to grow more, and being able to connect with people alone is a survival tactic. And with everything that's going on right now, having those connections with people, it helps us sometimes get through the day. Now, as a participant, I learned a whole bunch of good stuff. Um, Funny thing, I forgot the presenter who was presenting on beauty and how she was saying, to use olive oil on your skin. I've been changing up my routine, and I've been, bathing in olive oil, and I've seen a difference there already.
Mm.
The food, the recipes. I think Rafaela did something. Oh yeah, the codfish. That was really awesome because I had all those ingredients at home, and it inspired me to go and show my son. And I think I posted it on there. We did the whole process together, and you know,
Lost you there, Alex. Just make sure you can. Okay. Are you back?
yeah, I got a
Okay.
phone call. Okay,
Okay.
so the yoga, the history lessons. I just love history, so just listening to that just sparked me to go and do more research. And hopefully, I'll go up in North Florida and visit that area. I forgot the name of the lady who was talking about the Gullah. So
Dana.
every session has inspired, something. The tapping, these are stressful times, and the tapping has helped. The new dance moves, just a bunch of resources that I have actually applied, and they've really helped me sustain my sanity, during these times. And the last thing I wanted to add, I'm really thankful for the 30-day redemption, because just like plants need light, water, and air to survive and thrive, we need our body, our mind, and our spirit in healthy alignment to survive and thrive. So I'm very thankful for you guys, and I'm thankful for the program. And I'm looking forward to more 30 days.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Alex. And I'm glad you said that part about we need our mind, body, and spirit, because a lot of times we focus on everything external, using the mind, body, and spirit to fulfill those things, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's a job. And we forget that the greatest asset that we have is us. And from there, everything else is empowered. So thank you for that. As far as things that can be improved, what do you think we could do better?
With the last participant, I forgot her name. I agree with her. Longer, because once that conversation gets going, it gets good, and everyone starts expressing and getting more ideas. And that back and forth reflection is a plus. And the only thing I would change is maybe a little face-to-face interaction. Sometimes I know for me personally, it's kind of weird, like, talking, and I'm like just talking to the screen. I'm like, is anyone there?
Right.
So, but that's it, because everything else is just perfect.
Awesome. So more face-to-face interaction between the host and the people, or just in general, more people turning their cameras on?
In general, more people, turning their cameras on and having that extra connection. You can hear and you can feel, but having that face-to-face connection is another level of communication that I feel would benefit as well.
What if the 30-day redemption was an actual 30 days in a physical location, doing these 10 days, 10 days, 10 days experience? Do you think that's something that people would be interested in?
Oh, definitely. If you have food there, that would be a plus.
Well, food definitely for the body. Exercise.
You have food, exercise, and you have that at the end of the day, that human connection, that you don't have to be touching or anything, but having that vibe and that energy bouncing off of each other is another level. And I think that would be beautiful.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Hang around. We'll see if anyone has any questions at the end for you and for everyone else. Okay, let's move on. Estella, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you have been riding and journeying since April.
Yes.
And also in June. Tell us, you were a presenter, you were a participant. What was your experience like?
Yes. So the 30-day redemption for me was pretty much what exactly it's called. It was all about redemption for me, all about redeeming myself, because I felt, we were coming at a time where it came at a perfect time, actually, because with everything that was going on, that's still going on in the world, it was just a perfect time to just focus on, good content, and to be able to get all this in one place has been like just very transformable for me. And, I had the chance to be a presenter and a participant. And so I felt that I was stretched in a way, one, just to be able to get the content, whether it was, new things that I was able to add into my, my routine, and being able to just look forward to, putting this 1 hour block to focusing on saying, okay, I'm going to feed my brain good information. And I knew that, it was always very uplifting. It was very edifying just to be able to, like, from all the speakers, everybody, from the questions, the people that were sharing at the end, it was just like everything that you would consider a 30 redemption to be. I mean, like, we had a chance to be here for 60 days. And, I just felt like as a participant, it stretched me because, I'm not one to get on camera and just, it gave me the ability to be a participant in more than one segment. And I felt like I grew in that area, and I stretched myself to be able to, be able to put what I know out there. Whether it was talking about the family legacy, even then when you asked me to participate in it, I was kind of like, I know about the elderly, but it wasn't something I thought about was, the family legacy. So it gave me the chance to go and search on these things for myself. So it really stretched me, and I gained, and I was inspired. I gained so many new ideas from the presenters, from like samba. That was something I loved doing, but then I kind of lost that. So like watching Rafaela, bringing that on, and just like different cultural dances, like I love that. And I found that all on here, and so there was also Alexandra talked about the emergency and preparedness. Like that's something that I'm interested in, but it's like, where do you go? Where do you get this information? It's like, you can Google it, but you really can't get it how we got it on here. And so like everybody that was on here just knew exactly what they were talking about. The spirit felt very uplifting. What else? We talked about, food, medicine. And Alexandra shared about, or I think it was Yanni who shared about the woman who came on here, and she talked about planning. And so, her idea of planning was, I learned how to plan I made an intention board and an action board. And those two things I still use every single day. And I've been able to just like, I pretty much had my life handed to me in the 30-day redemption.
Excellent.
And yeah, it was just awesome. The patterns, we had a conversation about sowing seeds, and all the contents were just so amazing. And it was everything that I needed in this moment.
Now, what do you think? And one thing that you said before I asked you, what do you think we could do better? Was I remember when I asked you to do the presentation, what happened at that moment when you heard that request? Did you want to say no? And when you did agree to do it, what transformational thing happened to you specifically as you were putting the presentation together?
Yeah. Well, I did want to say no just because I'm like I have to talk in front of a lot of people. It's like not my thing. And so I was kind of anxious, but then I realized like how the cause was so amazing, just seeing how, the things that happened through other speakers. For me, I felt like I had something to share. And I was just like, I was led to say yes, because that this information needs to be heard. And so I felt that, like I said, it stretched me, and I felt like it could only do me some good. So why not? And so for me, like just learning about the family legacy, that was something like, we all work, but I never thought about, okay, like I'm actually working to leave something behind. I'm actually want to help, have to leave something behind so that my daughter doesn't have to start all over. And so like going through the research and just finding out more about family legacy and seeing how important it is, it was like, yes, like this is everything I needed for me. So it really set me free. I was redeemed.
Excellent. So what do you think we can do better based on your observation? What can we improve?
I really feel like, just like everybody has said, I really can't think of anything else other than making it longer. It's just like the information is so good. You just want to keep getting it.
Indeed.
Yeah. The only I would say, just maybe putting it out earlier, and just because I kind of found out, when it was just coming on. So I guess making it known earlier, but I really can't say that's really nothing.
Okay. Well, yeah, we want the same. We would love to have September marketed in August, but sometimes people don't keep their commitments, so we have to adjust. But
right.
Excellent. All right. Well, stick around, and if anyone has any questions for you, they will get to ask. All right. Randolph, are you there?
Yes, I'm available. Yes, hold on.
Okay, sure.
1 second. Okay, thank you. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I said my experience. Can you hear? Okay, my experience I think was a bit unique because people get part of like what they're looking for, and I think I got what I was looking for. I think I experienced almost like 50 days and of intellectual discussions about life, and I felt guilty when I missed the day or I came in late. That was one of the things that kind of bothered me. Like I'm like, this is all I have to commit is just this 1 hour, and sometimes and I enjoyed the opportunity of getting to think for an hour. It's like it feels like an accomplishment. Like this is the time that I did this particular thing. At least I didn't waste my time. And especially to have like complex discussion, but mostly, I'm always talking, so there was a good time to listen. I also felt justified when I just hearing about other people that have, when you discuss the issues with numbers, just realizing that other people experience the same thing. At first, I was like, oh, I know this is going to sound crazy. Then all of a sudden, I started to see the patterns, what I mentioned with Chappelle and all these different things that people actually think like that. And just to hear that somebody says, yo, I experienced the same thing too. Um, um, I guess one other thing I wanted to say was the subjects it was a chance to meditate. The subjects were positive. They were uplifting. The coordination and the layout the coordinator laid out his ideas. Like for me, it's like what I saw was all of your ideas. I was really impressed when it was just the day of just women, and it was like and just the follow-up questions but just it wasn't just owned by somebody. It wasn't like just a leader. It was like, here, this is open, and it was like, wow, that was really like it just shifted. That was a major shift. I was overwhelmed by the coordination of everything, the kind of work that went into it, and the amount of professionals that Kishad and Rafaela knew. I'm like, they know a lot of people. If I was wondering if I could call about 10 people to show up for me if I was inspired by something. I'm like, that's a lot of people,
Yeah.
I also have a source. I was always at a question. If I had a question, I wanted to ask Kishad. Every time I have an idea, and the cool thing is now that's laid out. Like this is how I think. This is where I get my information from. This is how. And so to have all that information just available, I can just now go to it 24 hours and say, oh, I want to listen to this again. How he understands things. It's almost like when Facebook asks you what's on your mind. It's like it's out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That also made me think that, man, I wish I could lay down stuff like that for my kids, or so they can just like there was a scene in the movie Iron Man when he wanted to talk to his son, but his son was so young, so he just recorded it while his son was in the room. Said, "I'm talking to you when you're older."
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a cool scene because it's like it's there now. When you're ready for it, you can go out there and find it.
Yep.
So it's a good opportunity to lay out your ideas. I wish I had a teammate like Rafaela who can dance and cook and express like all these talents. Man, an artist, communicates so well, compassionate. Even especially when she says, "Oh, the Brazilian people are compassionate." I was like, "Oh, don't say that. I don't want to offend nobody." But it was like, so I didn't have the understanding of history. I would say, wow, it was what a woman.
Yeah.
I was impacted by the metaphor of seeds really well. The seed for life, the idea of planting things in your mind, more particularly because I was just doing some farming around the house. I had these seeds that I kept planting in the ground, and the squirrels kept eating them every single day. And I said, oh, when I just took them and planted on the roof, and they never thought to go up there. And so that helped me to go through a process of, sometimes you got to just go on higher ground or find a different place. You have to move out of your environment. So that metaphor like really impacted me. It helped me think about how to look at seeds and how to look at life. And that's every single plant I planted on my balcony kind of grew, which is cool. And then I transplanted it and they didn't mess with it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I made some new friends, and I developed bravery to participate. Like the last person said, I was like, I don't know if I want to say anything. I don't want them to hear my voice. I don't want to put my picture out there. So that was it. Required you to be brave when I had to say something. And I love the candid nature of one of the presenters, just to remind me of a Mennonite. It's to show these people just say whatever they feel. And when you can get that from people, you can relate a lot better. And I learned, I guess, like I mentioned, learn how to put down my ideas for kids. Last two things, I learned how hard it is to present stuff, man. And I like pulling things together. And I mean, I actually was thinking, I got to stay up all night. I couldn't sleep because I didn't just to say a few words.
Right.
So that's a lot of work, and that's like, I'm like, damn, every day to have to do that. I really felt it was professional. I like the colors and the layout and the consistency, and I think that was really, really excellent. I mentioned that I really loved the presentation on the movie by the movie stars or movie, the correlation between acting and life, the seed presentation, the correlation between music and learning. That was excellent. The number, symbol, language, the resources, and then the resources for learning. The last thing, and the seeds part, I mentioned collecting your ideas. If you ask me about, and I know you'd ask this question, what could be done better? It was scary to me because somewhere in the process, you mentioned the words, oh, I hope I'm not sounding like a preacher, or whether or not this is like school, or I kind of like where it's more like a retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, you kind of get this a fuzzy line of where it falls into,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't. And I was like, I don't want it to go in this direction in my mind because I don't know, like I want to be a part of a group, but I don't want to be a part of it. Like I'm not. That's my personality. Like so, it's like that was a gray area. Like where is this gonna fall?
Right.
And I said, I like the idea of it being more like a retreat, people getting to know each other, getting together, everybody's intelligent at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
No one is following behind a person, especially when I said the women's group opened up. It was like, it's not just about me or this. It's like, I'm going to create this venue.
Right.
And I didn't like seeing behind the scenes. I remember you said to me one time that people like just seeing what's in front of, like they like the food when it's presented to them. They don't want it to see how it's prepared. And that to me is like, I was like, no. I don't want to know how quick it's done, what goes in the back. I just want to be, I like the way it looks from the, so I for me, I think that was the only thing I would change. Just kind of keep the mystery. Like Cosby said to Vanessa, don't put a steak on a plate, on a garbage can. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sorry, my mind is always all over the place.
No,
But,
it's good. And also, I wanted to
that's-
compliment you on, we've been journeying for a minute, and I wanted to compliment you on your presentation yesterday because, we've talked about it, but just I believe a lot of people gained a lot of value and a lot of resources, and it's coming out of that shell and standing in your purpose and standing in your strength, because what you have, someone needs in the way that you deliver it, in the way that they can comprehend. Someone relates exactly to your presentation. And sometimes the message that people need to get is embedded in the voice of the person delivering it. So they may hear your voice, but they may not hear my voice. And your voice is needed as well.
Thank you for that. I just, like the person said before me, it's like I know like how much I get out of learning from audio. And I was like really excited about it. And I said, man, I just want to tell somebody this. And one day I was talking to somebody a few days before, and I was like, this is really a lot of information that's available. And I just kind of wanted to give it to somebody, but I didn't want to. And I was happy to have the chance to kind of say, look, not more about me, but here's a resource. And thank you and really appreciate the opportunity to do that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you, Randolph. We're going to hang out and let's see if anyone has any questions for you at the end. I know you have some things going on in the background, but if you can, hang out and we'll get to that in about 15 minutes. Okay.
All right.
Move along. Janye, are you there? If you are, unmute.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Okay. Awesome. So, Janye, tell us about your journey. I know you've chimed in more for the June 30 day, but you might have even gotten some of the April. But tell us about your experience and if it was a good experience for you, if it was not good, and if something better can be done, let us know.
Okay. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed tuning into the 30-day redemption series. It's been enlightening as well as elevating. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Goodness gracious. It's been enlightening as well as elevating and an enriching experience for me. Anything that benefits me intellectually and promotes my overall growth and development, whether it's spiritually, mentally, or physically, is a win-win for me. And it's been really thought-provoking. I was a psychology major at Bennett College for Women, so I just love tapping into what triggers people to think a certain way. It was really fascinating for me. I loved the series when you guys were talking about coding and the significance of codes and numbers, and I liked when Miss Gabriella was talking about the way the mind works and how the brain, what areas of the brain forms things. I enjoyed listening to my mom, Dana Roberts, as she was explaining my Gullah Geechee heritage, so I can learn more about that. I love listening to Mr. Tashab, to you, Mr. Tashab, as you explain like the it's various things that you explained, but I specifically enjoyed the when you showed the water experiment. I'm sorry, not experiment, but
The video on the water, when the water, you could speak into the water and it showed the shapes. That one.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that one. So overall, it was really enlightening, and I really enjoyed it. It was a win-win for me. So yeah.
Well, excellent. And hopefully, we can get your story in September. I think it's a story that is inspiring, and hopefully we can get your story in. So just prepare yourself, because I'm going to put you on the red carpet in
Yeah.
September. Okay. Well, hang out, Janye. Thank you for your testimony. And hang out in case anyone has any questions for you.
All right.
Okay, let's move along. Jabrita, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent. And Janye, if you can, mute your phone so we only get Jabrita's. Jabrita, we have. Okay, Jabrita. So you were a presenter, you were a participant. What was your 30-day redemption experience like, both for April and for June?
Well, first of all, I want to, in April, asked to be a presenter. I was very reluctant at first, because I hadn't gotten to a place where I was, well, let me say, I didn't think I was ready to present. So it stretched me and it challenged me. And although I had information prepared, I had not begun speaking at the level of, that I have began to speak within redemption. So that was my first experience. My second experience was I was not clear exactly what redemption was. When a time where I thought or knew that the nation needed to be redeemed from the sins of this world. However, being more grounded and educated as I went through redemption in April, and my experience in June, it's really catapulted my thinking in many ways. It's given me a lot of different perspective shifts, mind shifts, opened me up in many ways.
I think we lost you, Jabrita.
Previously.
Okay,
I'm
there
sorry.
you go.
She was
You went in and out.
yes,
Randolph, can you mute your phone? Okay. All right, Jabrita, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. So I don't know exactly what you didn't get, but back in April, like I said, I really understanding of redemption and what it meant, and I was very nervous about getting on or getting my voice out there. And although I had information prepared, I had not yet began to deliver the information that I had prepared. So fast forwarding into June, I still didn't know exactly what to expect because it blew my mind the first time. So this time, like one of the young ladies had mentioned, I saw extreme elevation, from presenters to information. All of the information has been so wonderfully prepared, and the opportunity that I have learned and positioned myself through the learning, not just from a presenter standpoint, but also from a participant standpoint. And so, Redemption in Short has given me so much holistic perspective into kingdom work. I came in from a very churched background, and this has opened my mind and worldview, world perspective, and also kingdom work. So there's a difference. One of the things that I've learned through redemption is that there is a difference between church work and kingdom work. And so I'm so appreciative to you, Tashab, and to Rafaela, and to all of the team for your vision and for including the inclusion that you have given us as presenters and also as participants in learning through every skill, every lesson, every skill professional that you allow to share this platform. Um, I believe that redemption is a place that if you're looking to get watered, if you're looking to build, if you're looking to grow, to learn, and even to be challenged, I would recommend 30-day redemption to be a good place to start. A few of the lessons that I truly, now please understand that I have enjoyed all of them, even the ones that I was not able to actually come on, but I went back to listen to because, like the gentleman said, in that space time, sometimes I'm doing something and it'll be 1 o'clock, 1:15. I'm like, and I'm jumping like, oh my God, I gotta log in to redemption, right? And so just having that opportunity to look forward to every day, not knowing, what you're going to get, but you're going to get some good stuff. You're going to leave, once redemption ends, you're going to leave elevated and uplifted, mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And one of the things that I really enjoyed was being able to tap into those cultures, the Maroons and the Gullah Geechee people, and just learning more about the traditional aspect of, the diaspora and where we came from, not just from the old narrative of, slavery and different things like that, and to know that these tribes are still, well and alive, and these practices and some of the things that we've learned, even with the decoding of African spirituality and the presentation of seeds. The video was so phenomenal. Like, you don't really understand the process. Once you plant that seed, you don't understand the process. And even after you begin to see, it evolve, or take root, the undergrounding factor, there's still, you see the green on top, but there's still root, and the root is still growing. And so it was just so many things that I learned out of 30-day redemption. I'm looking forward to September, just continuing to look forward to, spreading the word and just being a part of this phenomenal family. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. As far as things that we could do better, what do you observe it can be an improvement?
Well, I mean, I agree with the face interaction. That was very profound. I agree also with the time. If we could go a little bit more, a little over, maybe the 1.5 to 2 hour mark. And I know, the reasons why, specifically going into like the workshops that you mentioned before, being able to advertise, a little bit earlier, but also, people, and this is just my perspective, when we commit, and say, as presenters, I'll say from a presenter standpoint, if you commit to saying that you're going to be able to present, do everything that you possibly can to make sure that you uphold that commitment, because people are counting on you.
Mm-hmm.
And so from a participant standpoint, to me, it's been phenomenal. So just having those key, presenters in place, and them carrying out that commitment and just embodying one another. Also, to go along with the other gentleman that spoke right before me, before the young lady before me, when he said I think the retreat aspect, but I just think that those are just some of the things that we can kind of think about, consider. I think this is a great thing that you're able to draw from the participants and the presenters to get feedback, so that's always a plus. But overall, I don't have much room to say outside of what's already been said, so thank you again.
Okay, Jabrita, and thank you as well. Hang out if you can, see if anyone has any questions. All right. And if you can mute for us, so we can hear Rafaela's presentation. Okay, Rafaela, you've been at 30 Day Redemption since April, March. What has your experience been from your perspective as a presenter, as an organizer, as a participant? You have a pretty rounded picture. What has your experience been?
Thank you. Well, first I want to, as I'm listening to everybody speak, I'm here a little emotional because to see the impact that has caused in each of your guys' lives. Because when I wake up every morning, during the 30 days, it's pretty much my life. And so to see the impact that it has had on each of your lives, really, that's my redemption. That's my redemption experience, to know that something shifted in someone's life, that someone learned something and applied, that someone changed their outlook in life because of information they were able to get here. So all the work that goes behind the scenes, it just warms my heart to know that that's the impact that it's having. So I think that's one thing. So I want to say also thank you to everybody who presented, those that are here. I got to interact with a lot of you, getting information, getting pictures, and, so the impact that it has had on my life is to hear, the outcome, what is happening out here, and what folks are doing and how they're changing their way of life. The second thing is, two things. I want to say two thank yous. One is to, both thank yous is to Kashab. One is to giving us the platform, at least me, a platform where I can execute my talents under one roof. I don't think I never was able to execute, the things that I know how to do under one place. So thank you for providing that platform for all of us to be able to showcase our talents and what we know and our experiences and our gifts with the world. And one thing that McGarvey said earlier about the real estate in your mind, and that was actually from the visuals versus vision presentation that Kashab did, and where he talked about the theater of your mind. And when we change what's going on in the theater of your mind, things like this happens. 30-day redemption happens. Your vision becomes your reality. And that's what that is. And so I want to say thank you to Kashab for entrusting me with your vision to be able to execute such an amazing and beautiful work that is impacting so many people's lives, and it has impacted especially my life.
Excellent, and thank you, because and I say this, and I'll say it publicly, I'll say it privately. If you didn't carry the part that you carried, it just wouldn't happen. Because the level of work, and not just the level of work, but also the quality of the work, um, is what made it what it was. I think if people see something rinky dink, they will respond like it's something rinky dink. We've had scenarios where um, people had to turn around and recognize that it wasn't something rinky dink that they were signing up for. I mean, the audience size isn't as important as the impact. But thank you for putting your time and effort into creating quality visuals, for everyone that is interested. All of the visuals that you see was done by Rafaela. So she put her time and she put her work in. So thank you for carrying that baton. Um, and hopefully by September, you could get some help to alleviate so much of the work that goes into that behind the scenes component. So thank you for that. As far as improvements, what do you think can be done? What do you think you could implement to improve what you're doing?
Well, definitely, those, like I mean, you mentioned before, those folks to stay to their commitments and, getting their info in early so I can get the stuff out early. So
Right. That's
that's
true.
about it. Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna push on and see if anyone has any questions for you. So hang out. Okay, that's my turn. So, um, 30-day redemption for me, it turned out to be a lot more than I initially envisioned. I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be edifying. But then I ended up being a student of the very thing that I created for other people. Um, and one thing that I observe is that I'm always learning. And so, for example, even something as Randolph's presentation yesterday, I know Randolph, that we're family. And so, but seeing him present and talk about the resources, you can obviously hear how intelligent he is. But when we're talking, he's, of course, he's intelligent. That's why I said, man, you got to write a book. But um, just as an example of how something was created for other people and that I'm benefiting, just hearing the resources, and I'm like, oh, we've talked about this before, probably 2 years ago, but seeing the visuals make you say, oh, okay, so I need to take this step to do this to get that. Because we've been always talking about these books. Um, Estella in her presentation on the body and how that information, uh, provoked other thought. And then I have to call Estella and be like, hey, we need to talk about this a little bit more. And so it creates answers and solutions in other areas of life to help with the bigger picture. Rafaela in her artwork, and not just the artwork, but okay, the dedication, the amount of hours. Sometimes when I'm tired and she just goes ahead and continues, it's inspiring because obviously I have to push as well. Director Z, and the brother comes on and his you can hear the passion for what he does, but he's always inspired me. But you can hear the um, the level of expertise, I should say, or the level of research, even in how he answers questions, et cetera, et cetera. So everyone that presented, sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, there go my friend, that's my friend, that's my cousin. And so for me, it has been redemptive and inspiring, almost like to see everyone and where they're going. It's almost like the payday. It's like, this is the paycheck. And this is the paycheck for what you've done. This is the good feeling of putting in this work. Here are the results. So, so it's been great for me. I am looking forward to resting. Hopefully Raphael is also looking forward to resting. because it does pull a lot. It stops just about everything else. But I'm also looking forward to revamping and giving everyone the quality that they deserve, because this is obviously a need. But when we're resting from the 30-day redemption, as far as the daily 1 o'clock, we will still continue with the workshops. So you'll still be getting emails, but the workshops, 5-day, 3-day, 1 day, whatever it is. But then we're also, going to be doing redemption stories, and that's coming. So some of you may be able to actually get on film and tell your story. So that means each one of you within your purpose and within your talent has to do something great. So yes, Randolph, you're going to be writing that book. Yes, Estella, you're going to be doing the elderly program. Yes, Jabrita, you will be doing, the trauma transitions, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone, Raphael, you will get your art out. McGarvey, you will have a top auto repair company, because everyone has this so much value inside of them, and it should not be hidden. And it should not only show up at 30-day redemption. You build your life, build your stuff. So I look forward to you all sharing your story as you go, from wherever you are now or wherever you were before to where you're going to go. And so that redemption is literally giving you the time to fulfill your purpose, to have the resources that you need, and to transfer the legacy to your children to carry the baton. Sounds a lot better than work for 30 years, retire, and live off of Social Security. So hopefully that's embraced as well. So we will be doing redemption stories, and we're going to be doing a redemption book club. So hopefully Randolph could play a huge role in that. I know Raphael is also a reader. Alexandra, I am as well. And whoever else is into that we can capture some redemptive content in the form of books and discuss it, whether it's on the platform or off. So that will be going on. And then we'll be revamping the 30-day redemption website to have more sections and more areas for people to have access to everything in a comprehensive and a clear way. So that's what the future looks like, if God will, that we can continue that and continue to do other projects that stem from the 30-day redemption. And like we mentioned earlier, and no one knew this, but we will do a 30-day redemption retreat. We might do it down in Brunswick, Georgia. We may do it in Florida. We may do it in Belize. We may do it in Guyana. We may do it in Brazil. We may do it somewhere, upstate. But we will do that time if anyone could get that amount of time, because remember, we're laboring for us to be free from the constraint of a 9 to 5. We'll have Wi-Fi there. If you need to come, bring your computer, set up, and do your work for a certain amount of time and then jump into the activities, so be it. But we need to be free, because why talk about 30-day redemption if we're not going to be really redeemed? So that's it. So that's been my experience. That's some of the vision moving forward. I'm thankful for everyone for your time. And now I'm going to open up and look, we might even go over a little bit past the hour. So we're actually solving that redemption request today. But let's get into some Q&A. If anyone has any thoughts or questions they'd like to bring out. I see some things in the chat. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Salome said, I just recently joined, and I must say I have learned so much. I wish to have more of this, which I personally call my spiritual food to everything that of which life entails. Thank you so much to all the speakers, teachers who came on board to teach and serve. We want more. Thank you for that, Salome. Salome is out in South Africa. So thank you for that. And I look forward to you also presenting. So I'm probably going to be on you until we see that. So thank you for that. Adelia, well, Estella gave some praise hands. So thank you for that. Adelia says, many thanks to you all. Greatly impressed with the speakers and content. Excellent job. And Adelia's out in the UK. So awesome. All right. So for everyone else that's on the presentation, do you have any questions for anyone else? Any cross-referencing questions? Any closing thoughts? Because you guys are going to be on your own 1 o'clock tomorrow, so get it out now.
Okay, I have something to say.
Okay, what you got?
Well, I forgot to say this, but I wanted to thank Mr. Randolph that I really enjoyed listening to you yesterday. I enjoyed your enthusiasm about how you talked about the books that you have read. You just seem like a historical guru, and you just seem like a fascinating person. So I really enjoyed listening to you on yesterday.
I have to say something. I actually feel like tears are coming to my eyes, but I have to tell you that I'm like a little kid. I went back. I'm like, I hope I said something. I don't even want to hear what I said. It just kind of went from my mind. And thank you so much. I guess everybody's still like a kid who wants feedback, and so thank you for saying that. And I think when you said I don't know, when you always mention writing a book, I guess if you're gonna write, you gotta know every author and the best writing out there. So maybe that was my motivation. I don't know, but sometimes I really want to talk to people about the books that I've, like what books or what's in it or what. So if anybody ever want to, like what's a good read or what can you get from it? Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. And I wanted to add that if Kishard worked for corporate America, just one of those presentations would probably have took him to director of the agency. I couldn't pull off any of that stuff, man. And I'm like, I swear, like that level of work, that's what people get round of applause from for at my agency. Like they go 15 minutes and they all nervous. And I'm like, geez, this guy did like days, coordinating it, putting together within a short period of time. That's really impressive. I'm like, they would have paid you an arm and a leg for that kind of work.
Man, I can't even take all the credit, man, because literally sometimes it'd be 8 in the morning and Rafaela would text me like, I'm ready to do the presentation. And I'm like, okay, here we go. And literally, as I'm typing, she's putting the PowerPoints together. So all of that is her. That's her talent, but it's just the content, the information I'm feeding, but it's her eye and it's her talent doing that. So she would have to share the director's chair or be in the front and I'll be in the back, because literally I can pull all that stuff off. It would literally be like a Word document and talking, but the visuals help. And I'm glad that, she's dedicated that time to doing that. And Randolph, I told you got to do your book. You see, people are waiting for your information. So
thank you.
You got to do your thing. Yeah, man. But I appreciate that. Okay. Someone wrote something in the chat. Let's see. Okay. Delia, she said right. Okay. Estella, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just to be a participant and to put together, a segment for that day was like, oh my gosh. And so to imagine Rafaela, the work that she's put in and to be able to consistently do it for 60 days, like I've never seen someone so intricate that can, do all these things, put all these things together and still be able to talk about tapping, dancing, like art, just so much information, the African roots, about religion, or it was just like, so I really wanted to say thank you to Rafaela, because the work you've put into this, like it really shows your spirit is just like, it showed through everything that you did. So like, I was just so lucky to be on this journey and to get the chance to also meet so many great people through all of this, because I've gained a new tribe. So
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, Estella. Anyone else have any feedback? Like I said, get it out now, because come tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you're going to be chiming into Netflix or something.
Can I be heard? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to second the notion. I'm not sure. It might have been Estella. Forgive me if I didn't get it right, but she was saying about the interaction, like the kind of face to face or just having the cameras on. I was thinking that too, and then she just said it, so I wanted to second that notion, as well as the time notion, as well as the appreciation for this platform. So thank you to Kashab and Rafaela for putting it together, for all of those who presented. I don't know all of you guys' names, but I really appreciate all the time that you guys took into putting it. And, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I'll be thinking about y'all.
Oh, awesome. Well, you got 60 videos on the fan page that you can check out at any time. And you have some inside communication, so you should be fine regardless. So cool. All right. So, well, I wanted to, unless someone else had a comment, let me see. I see someone. Donica, did you have a comment?
Yes, hi. Everyone said what I was thinking, what I've been feeling, and I just agree with all the comments. I still wanted to share my thoughts. This has been life-changing for me, and I'm trying to hold back tears, but uh, like at this time of my life, I'm starting pretty much all over. So this has been so helpful. And I really appreciate all of what you all have done, especially Rafaela and Kashab, and how many hours you guys have put into this. And it's like, you know, just like less than half a year ago, I was like, man, I would love to go on a wellness retreat. I would love to do that. I have 6 children, and right now my finances would not allow me to do that at the moment. But I was thinking I would love to go. I just, just to reset, regroup, and just get back to me, because I'm the type of person, I'm a giver. I pour into a lot of people. And, I love doing that. I love it, but I also didn't take the time out to pour back into myself. And that's where the complications came. And so for this to come at the time that it did, it was just like it was a divine interaction. It was a divine intervention. And I feel like with all of us, I'm sure, we can see through this in particular that all things work through Christ for them who love the Most High. All things work for the good, all things. So I'm so appreciative. This has been mind blowing. It's been like, and it's interesting because, I'm trying to right now, help my children, kind of express themselves through different talents that they have and different interests. And just like a month ago, one of my twins was like, Mommy, I want a garden. So I was like, we've been having the seeds for a long time. I'm like, let's garden. And so she's looking up this stuff, talking about, caffeine can help you, the coffee grounds can help your plants grow and all this other stuff. And then the farmers come on your presentation and just confirm a lot of the things that she was saying and that she has already done. And we have already I've already seen it, come into fruition. I'm like, wow, this is so awesome, And then the dancing, when I'm down, I dance, So the dancing was therapeutic for me. The art is therapeutic for me. Like the music, I love music, the meaning of music, the frequencies it's just like, I was just like, praise the Most High, praise the Father, because this is just, it's been mind blowing for me. I've been learning so much, and I really appreciate you guys.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Donica, for that. Heartfelt. And And that's real. And the funny thing about June, and this is inside, but I was like, Father, June, I'm like, I'm tired. And literally it's like, so you got to do it. It's needed, and so we just sucked it up and did it. And so the results definitely was worth it. Alexandra says, well, Randolph says, thank you, Rafaela. Thank you. And also Alexandra, awesome work, Rafaela. 1 p.m. will be missed. Jabrita, I know we share regularly, but sis, you're amazing. Kashab, phenomenal being. Love you both dearly. We love you too. Estella, all hearts. And also Dana had a comment. I'll have to read her comment. She said it's pretty noisy where she is. But she says, thank everyone for her and to all presenters. And she said, thank me and thank Rafaela as well for the hard work. So that's redemptive, that feels like, okay, cool. So we could keep going because this is definitely something of value. Darrell had a comment. Darrell, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, I had a few bullet points, but that's okay in reference to time. But I just wanted to say that this 30-day of redemption, both in April and now, has definitely been aligned with these times. So much needed. I mean, for me in my life. And I want to thank Kashab, for your vision and definitely thanks Rafaela. You've been like an Aaron and right there every day and just for executing this with passion. And I say that big word passion because I don't think this could have really kicked off like it did if you didn't have the passion for what you did, both the two of you and the team and the presenters. I mean, so much work went into these presentations, so much love, and I love that. I know in the past I would present different things or preach and they said, Darrell, they would be taking a lot of notes and saying, well, you did your homework. And I said, that's because I love what I'm doing and I research and I found myself, I'm telling you, my journal, and I said this before, is filled. I have 2 more pages left just by sitting here taking these notes and being a sponge and absorbing this thing and just reflecting. It's just been a blessing to me. It's been a mountain of resources and connections, meeting new people. My mind, my body, and my spirit has been refreshed. It's been refilled. And I could summarize it as being a balm of Gilead to me personally. During this time and being home has really charged me to pursue some things with my passion and my call in life. And it's also really emphasized the importance of family in every different way. I mean, I value my family. We all do in my family. I have a big family, but we are now meeting other family members who we've been looking for forever. All of a sudden we found one, in California, the other ones in, I don't know if it's Detroit or somewhere, but we've been looking them up, after speaking about the Maroons and the Gullah Geechees, the whole family legacy thing. And from the dances to, it's just so overwhelming, but it's overwhelming in a good sense. You just feel so filled and like you have all these tools and resources and just, I know I'm excited about moving forward and I just see things coming to pass. Even yesterday, the presentation, what is your name again, the gentleman?
Randolph.
Yeah, Randolph, you were awesome. I mean, some of the resources that you mentioned, you got down to the core of just the library and the resources there. And I could relate because my first 2 jobs were working at the local library here in Montclair, New Jersey, and down at Rutgers University Library, which was in Newark, New Jersey. Those are one of my first jobs in trying to, secure monies from my single parent mother, help her out while I go to school. So it really brought back memories and just how important your local library is and what's there. And then you mentioned some other good resources like the Matrix. And I spoke with a good friend of mine afterwards yesterday about this. I said, you really have to get on in September. And we were talking and I said, all of a sudden the Matrix came up. That's one of the things. I think you had another book, The American Family, or
American Marriage.
Yes. Well, one of my friends, and she's Jewish, she's in her 80s. She told me to read that book. And I said, I haven't spoken to Miriam. I hope she's okay because she's in like a senior's home. Don't you know she called me yesterday and said, Darrell, I haven't talked to you in weeks. I want to make you. She left me a message. I'm like, this is unreal. And my friend was saying, do you know, I was told to just look at The Matrix. I never looked at that movie. I saw bits and pieces. And all of a sudden, it stood out yesterday. So that's one thing we're going to be doing today because we know it's something in there. But those are just small examples. But I thank you so much yesterday for all that information and the whole team. I mean, each presenter, it was so rich. I really can't emphasize that enough. It was so rich. What I would want is, for more people to really know about this and commit to the 30 days and learning and engaging and just taking this stuff in is so important. I just feel like people are at a loss not to know some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These topics. I feel like they're at a loss, and I speak to my family about it all the time and they get excited, but I'm like, you all have to make a commitment to join in, to learn something new, something that'll charge you to do better in your life and not have the fear. Because I heard it from a lot of you who presented, like at first I was fearful of it. I didn't think I could do it. So I thank God again for you, Kashab, and you, Rafaela, for charging everyone to be their better and their best and to pursue passion.
Absolutely.
So that's all I wanted to say. I thank you all.
Thank you, Darrell. And that was heartfelt as well.
Thank you.
We have a comment in here. Donica says, I agree, sis, medicine. And Randolph says, thank you again. So we're going to close out. I hate to close out. I don't know if anyone has any final thoughts. But if not, my final thought, and let me make sure I read Dana's full message. So I think I might have missed something. So Dana said, thank everyone from me to all presenters. It is too noisy where she is. And she says, and I thank you, TC, as well as Rafaela. Hard work. Amazing. Hopefully I got everything. All right. So let me close out. So for, again, whoever is signed up and is receiving emails, just know that you will continue to receive emails on the workshops. We'll be behind the scenes still working on that. You'll still see everyone. We just won't be meeting every day. But if you sign up for a workshop, then you will be, showing up on those days to get that information. And we will be ramping up and preparing for the September. And there's always a lot going on. So if we duck off here, we'll be doing something else. We have Abba and sons. We have Amma and daughter. For those who have daughters, prepare yourself to, participate with that in September in Georgia. But there's always things going on, and your contributions are always welcome as far as your talent. And also for anyone who did send any kind of contribution through the Cash App, we thank you for that. We did receive, for those who are showing support in that capacity, thank you for those who are showing support in their time and their research. Thank you all for the part that you've played. All right. And again, remember to share what we're doing. Even though we won't be meeting every day, let them know about September. We'll start some material. I'll ease off and give Rafaela some time for herself, and I'll take some time, but we will be following up with promotional material so that we can promote September properly. If you know anyone that can be a great contributor for their mind, body, or spirit, or if you have some additional material that you'd like to show, please come forward. Whether it's cooking, whether it's food, whether it's culture, things that people can learn. We have a rich amount of resources and talents amongst us, and we need to share. So that's it. 30 Day Redemption is closing out. The June reboot is done. The material will be on the fan page. Look forward to seeing you guys on the chat. And whoever has my contact, feel free to reach out. And we will see you again either at the workshop or in September. Have a wonderful day and see you guys soon.